1992, a war broke out in my hometown, Sarajevo, Bosnia. And what was to come was years of a really horrible time. There was, within weeks of the war starting, the city was under siege and we ran out of food. Electricity was cut off, water was cut off, gas, telephone lines were cut off. We, at different times, there were a lot of grenades exploding, our windows shattered, so we had plastic sheets in the windows, and the winters in Sarajevo came down to -20, -30 degrees. At times we had to pick grass to eat because there wasn't enough food coming into the city. About a year into the war, my dad was taken into a war prison, and false accusations were put up against him, and he spent 3.5 months in war prison, during which my mum used to visit him, but she saw a lot of horrible stuff, so she wouldn't take my sister and I. Eventually he was found not guilty of the accusations and he was let go. Shortly after that, the Red Cross decided he was an endangered person and took him out of Bosnia, out of the war zone, to the country next door. And it took another year with my mum and my sister and me being in Sarajevo on our own before we could reunite. And as a child going through war, that was probably the hardest thing for me, being separated from my father. And I remember he used to do odd jobs at markets and, beg for jobs, and he used to save up money to be able to call us via satellite phones, via Hungary. It was incredibly hard, and it cost him a month's rent to talk to us for 10 minutes, and if he reached my sister or my mum, they would tell him how we were going and if we had food and how school went. And if he reached me, we would spend 10 minutes crying to each other on the phone. Anyway, eventually, we were lucky enough, after 3 years in the war, we left Sarajevo, we were exchanged on the bridge, and we reunited with my father in Serbia, applied for humanitarian visas for all countries that were accepting refugees at the time, and we were incredibly, incredibly lucky to get a visa for Australia. Australian government paid for our flights, they settled us in Darwin, and so we arrived in Darwin when I was 14 in '96, and from the landing at the airport, my experience of Australia has just been incredible and joyous. There was a big support group waiting for us at the airport, who took us to an apartment that was rented for us, and furniture that was set up for us. There was a fridge full of food that was waiting for us. And that was 19 years ago, and my whole experience of this country is so welcoming, so beautiful. I feel Australian. I have, pretty much since I came here. My country that I was born in is broken now, so I've been calling myself Australian, and I have been citizen for 17 years. I now have been working at Refugee Advice and Casework Service. RACS here in Sydney is a legal service that provides legal assistance to refugees and asylum seekers. For 3.5 years as an office manager, and as an office manager, I really am, incredibly proud of being able to make a difference to refugees and asylum seekers in some way by making sure the office is run well. And actually, the lawyers that I work with, and these lovely Dr. Haas and Nurse Alana, I'm just so amazed by the work they all do working with asylum seekers day in, day out, because honestly I don't think I'd be able to listen to the stories every day. It's really incredible. And what really brings it home for me tonight, especially watching all this and listening to all these stories, is the stark difference between my experience of coming to Australia as a refugee and the experience of people who just happen to come by different means and end up being locked up in, horrible, horrible places that are worse than prisons. It's, heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking that this is happening, and I find it hard to comprehend that this is the same country that 19 years ago welcomed me with big open arms, and this is how we treat children these days. Doesn't make any sense. I'll just say I'm very proud to be working now for an organisation that's fighting for every asylum seeker and refugee to have the kind of welcome that I received when I got here. Thank you.